Hi, this is Sidra and you're watching me on Trends 21 by Sidra Rajab. This is your YouTube channel and you are making me a good teacher, a good human, an improved human being, a polished teacher every day. And you can't believe whenever I see your comments, I feel very happy. I feel healthy. I'm really thankful to you. And specifically those who daily comment me and who daily watch my videos, it really affects me and I feel more energetic. Now let's move towards today's lesson. I believe this is the last one of level 1. Be ready for level 2. The lesson's name is Don't Talk. It's an order perhaps, or it's a request, I don't know. Let's move towards the lesson. Tommy Smith lived with his father and mother in a lovely little house. Tommy had everything a child could want. He's having all the blessings of life. There was a beautiful garden at the back of the house. In it, there was a swing and a slide and a climbing frame. Means he's provided with all the facilities of what kids wish for. There was even a tree house for a young Tommy boy to play. Very good. Tommy had his own room in which there was a large box of toys. I feel that there is a focus on the financial facilities. Means the writer wants to show us that he is facilitated financially in all the ways. He also had a shiny new bicycle which he kept in the shed in the garden. And the lucky boy also had a pet, a beautiful cat called Smudge. Tommy was a lucky boy, no doubt. But was he happy? That comes the point. No, he was not. As you shall find out, means whenever the story proceeds, you'll come to know that after having so many blessings, the boy is not happy. The sad thing was Tommy got cross easily. It was very easy to make him hyper. It is the weakness, From time to time, it got him into trouble. Means he was always troubled because of his nature. One day, Tommy got cross with his mother. "I don't want to talk to you," shouted Tommy. He stormed upstairs to his bedroom, slamming the door. What rude behavior. In the evening, Tommy's father came home from the office. Tommy's mother said, "I think you should talk to young Tommy. He has not been a very good boy all the day." Mrs. Smith told Mr. Smith what had happened. Mr. Smith sighed, means, and then went up to talk to Tommy. "Come on, Tommy," said Mr. Smith. "You cannot keep quiet for so long. You must talk to your mother. You must talk to me." Means he's giving him a way to talk and to be friendly. But Tommy did not say a word. He was blunt. He just sat on his bed and stared at the ceiling, means upwards in the room. The surface upwards the room, means attached to the roof, is called ceiling. He often did this, means he was in a habit to see the ceiling while having a sad face and dumb and irritating and troubled. So his father left him alone. "Well," asked Mrs. Smith when Tommy's father returned, means she was asking with questioning eyes. "Well, what happened?" "It's no use," means there is no significance, replied Mrs. Smith. "He won't talk to me," means this is an observation of the father that the child is not going to talk anymore. In the morning, Tommy ate his breakfast in silence. Then he went off to school without saying a word. "What shall I do with him?" sighed Mrs. Smith. She was sad. In the evening, Tommy came home and went into the kitchen and stood near his mother. She thought he was going to say something, but each time he said nothing and went away quietly. Very sad. Mrs. Smith smiled. When Mr. Smith came home, she told him about Tommy, that he came inside the kitchen and all that. I think he wanted to talk to me, she told Mr. Smith, but he is still cross. Means he is still in an off mood. At dinner, Mr. and Mrs. Smith kept quiet. Tommy kept quiet too. They were waiting to see who would be the first to talk. No one said anything, and dinner passed in silence. After the meal, Tommy went to his room. Mr. and Mrs. Smith washed the dishes. It's very nice that the husband was helping the mother, means the wife, and watched television for a while. They had a good time with each other. That is also very good. Then Mrs. Smith went to see if Tommy was all right. It was past his bedtime, so he should have been asleep. She looked into his room. Tommy was sleeping. Mrs. Smith went to turn off his bedside light, means the lamp at the side of the bed. She saw a note on his bedside table. It said, means it was written on the note, Mother, there is a school trip to the lake and fort tomorrow. Wake me up at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Tommy. In the morning, Tommy woke up when he heard Smudge scratching at his door. He sat up and yawned. Yawns mean. Daylight was coming through a gap in the curtains. What's the time? Said Tommy to himself. He leaped up, means he jumped up, and looked at his watch. 8 o'clock, wailed Tommy, cried with sorrow. Oh no, he shouted. I have missed the bus and the trip with my friends too. Tommy stamped his feet, means he's just, as we stamp up, he was very cross, means again filled with fighting brain. It's her fault, cried Tommy. I shall go and shout at Mother. I asked her to wake me up. She didn't. He was just blathering and talking to himself. Tommy went to his bedside table to take the note to show his mother. He found another note next to his own. It was written, Tommy, wake up. It's 7 a.m. Mummy. The story is over. There were so many lessons in the story, and you see that these are the stories for kindergarten's level. I'm just impressed because they teach in a symbolic way. That's why their kids used to speak elevated language if they are a little wiser. They come to know that the proverbs and sayings play an important role because they have been studying such type of stories, means in a symbolic way. The story was having a very big lesson that a shouting brain can never get the fruit. Just as at the end of the story, Tommy learnt he was about to fight with his mother, but he realized at the end it was his fault. It was not the fault of mother because he shouted, he created the scene, he got hurt, he was having a bad brain, he spent whole the day in panic. He ruined himself. He didn't affect anyone else negatively except of himself. First of all, definitely it affected his parents also. But there was a huge lesson for the child in this story. Just as we should educate our children while telling these type of stories, that there are some ways to reconcile always. I teach my kids just one thing: never be angry with others. If you want to be angry, just introspect yourself inside. Watch inside your own faults in your own brain. If you have got something wrong, this was because of you. If my child gets hurt, I never said this, that this was anyone else's fault. Even if he was beaten, or it never happened. But if he had got hurt because of an other child, means a stranger, it had happened. I taught him never to call anyone to whom you don't know. Means I remember I went to some of my relatives and boy pushed my child. And I didn't scold my child. I didn't give him any lesson of this. No, I just told him one thing, that it was your fault because you didn't judge that someone was about to push you. Each time, if we are making our children elevated and strong at the brain, they will behave like this. To teach us and our students, we should focus on one thing, that a fighting brain and a negative brain could never be having any goodness in future. As Tommy was hurt, as Tommy lost the opportunity to visit, and it was a great thing that he missed his trip. He missed some good moments with his friends. Now move towards the exercise. Question number 1 is, in what way Tommy was lucky? Tommy was lucky in many ways because he was blessed. He was facilitated. He was having all those things for which a child yearns. So he was financially strong. His mother and father were very good parents. Question number 2, what was the sad thing about Tommy? Because he was intended to get cross easily. Do you know there is an aspect of teaching the kids in a way. I have seen many kids. I actually passed through the experience that when students complained that teacher, he is making faces to me, then what is inside? If he is making faces to you, it's of his headache, it's of his business. This is nothing related to you. You shouldn't be afraid of it. You shouldn't be mournful. You shouldn't be anything. You shouldn't be affected. He is doing his business. Let him do whatever he is doing. Don't be afraid of making faces of others or making names. He is just naming me with bad things or something like that. We should teach our kids that if we are losing, it's an art. I do the same with my kids. That if you have lost, it's the strength. Next question. What did Mrs. Smith find in Tommy's room? There was a note on which it was written that he asked his mother to wake him up at 7 a.m. because he didn't want to miss. He actually told the reason. The communication level is very good. And he didn't want to miss that trip. That's why Tommy's mother taught him a lesson also. Question number 4 is, why did Tommy not go on the school trip? Because he did not drop the chit, the label, the message towards mother decently, in a decent way. It was an indecent way that he was not talking to the mother and he didn't bother. He didn't give respect to his mother and he didn't go to the mother and gave that paper to her happily and said sorry or something. If he was not sorry, that was okay. But mother must have felt elevated and respectful when she had got a response from the child, which was not done by Tommy. That's why he missed his school trip. Question number 5. Do you think Tommy learned anything from what happened? Obviously, Tommy learned a huge lesson for the rest of his life. I believe Tommy must had learned a huge lesson that he missed beautiful moments of his life. And his mother actually did that intentionally. He must had learned a great lesson. Next question. Do you think Tommy's behavior was okay? Never. Tommy's behavior was not okay at all because he was in a habit to get cross easily and he disrespected his parents. They wanted to reconcile. They wanted to make the environment beautiful and friendly, but he didn't appreciate them. That's why his behavior was not okay at all. And if you want to prolong the answer, you can say this, that Tommy was not having a right to disturb and to affect others with his nature. He must had tried to change his nature. Means he must had tried to change the nature of getting cross with everyone. Easily he was ready to fight with anyone and all that. So he affected his parents also. That's why it was very sad. Next question, what advice would you give to Tommy to improve his behavior? This question is directly related to the teachers, mothers, fathers, parents, elders, that how do you handle this type of child? I believe that this nature develops because of the elders. I don't know, somebody must be having some cross questioning in this way. But I personally have experienced it that in the childhood, like usual kids, my child also started arguing about that someone is making faces to me, or someone has pushed me, or someone has done something bad to me. I treated him that it was all your fault. If you have found any type of loss, it was all because of you. This thing makes a child humble, down to earth, and you and I, everybody, should teach the kids in a way that we are not supernatural, we are not angels, we are humans. Last question is given by me. I am giving you a task to do, that turn off the video and just talk to yourself about how to be polite with others. Means how can you improve your behavior, getting polite, being polite and friendly with others. I believe you will enjoy while doing it, and try to do it in front of the mirror and talk to yourself. You'll enjoy. Thank you so much. Goodbye.